Hi, hello everyone. Just wanted to say welcome to our event today. I would love to figure out where you're coming from. If you want to drop your location in the chat just to kind of see who we have joining us. But again, welcome to Power of Your Team Proven Tips to Ignite Efficiency. So, we'll be talking about different practical strategies and solutions for optimizing communication, collaboration, and productivity. Get ready to adapt and leverage advanced technologies like GoLinks and stay competitive in this rapidly evolving world. It's going to be an electrifying journey today to boost your team's efficiency. We're going to unveil innovative approaches, expert insights, powerful tools that will revolutionize your work processes. We've got awesome guest speakers joining us today that will be giving practical tips. We have some interactive Q&A, and you'll be buzzing with excitement, ready to supercharge your team. Empower yourself with knowledge and tools to transform your organization, overcome challenges, learn from our industry experts, and create an environment where learning is fun, improvement is constant. Be a force of change, cultivating efficiency and adaptability. But your participation is crucial. Engage with our guest speakers, please. There are industry professionals here, and for our interactive Q&A session, we would love to hear your thoughts, ask questions, and become a part of this energizing experience. Together, we're going to address remote team efficiency, resistance to change, fostering innovation, upskilling, and more. Get ready to embark on this electrifying journey and power up your team, proven tips to ignite efficiency. Let's start your organization on the path to success. Remember, work smarter and have fun. Here's a quick overview of what we'll be covering today. A quick round of introductions, the ever-changing business landscape, GoLinks for productivity, efficiency tips, tricks, and hacks, and then we'll wrap up with the interactive Q&A session. Let's get started.
Good morning, good afternoon. My name is Trish Arneson. I was previously the Chief Productivity and Diversity Officer of Yonder Group. Yonder was a global hyperscale data center company, and I was responsible for the implementation of GoLinks there. Prior to Yonder, I was with Google in their global data center business, and in both roles, my teams were hybrid, remote, globally dispersed. Now over to Lynn.
Thanks, Trisha. Hi, everyone. Great to have you here today. My name is Lynn Fan, and I'm the head of people operations at GoLinks. My background is in HR with a focus on talent acquisition. I've been super lucky to have experience working for a variety of companies, starting with early stage startups here at GoLinks to large companies like Google and Uber. I joined GoLinks about 2 years ago while it's in its seed stage, and it's been really exciting to see the company grow. In addition to that, I'm also excited about building teams and just anything related to the future of work.
Awesome. Thank you both. Now we're going to kick it off and talk about the ever-changing business landscape. Over to you, Lynn.
Okay, so as I just mentioned in my intro, I'm fascinated by the future of work. And as you know, today's business landscape is marked by rapid digital transformation, remote work, evolving organizational structures, and an emphasis on well-being. So companies need to adapt to these changes and leverage advanced technologies like GoLinks to maintain a competitive edge. They can also do this to enhance team efficiency and foster collaboration across an increasingly diverse workforce. And now we'll talk about GoLinks for productivity. I know this product very, very well, obviously, and I love talking about this topic. So we know that knowledge sharing is a significant obstacle to productivity in today's fast-paced environment. Without effective ways to find and share information, teams can struggle to access the resources and the insights that they need, resulting in wasted time and decreased efficiency. So if you look at the stats on this page, you'll see poor knowledge sharing is poor productivity. Companies use on average 137 SaaS applications. Information is scattered everywhere and really hard to find, and that can really waste time. And a McKinsey study shows that 19% of the work week is spent searching for information. So as you see, these big companies listed down here, they understand the high cost of not being able to find and share information. So they've invested in GoLinks systems. And in general, just GoLinks is a powerful tool that delivers a streamlined approach to knowledge sharing and can significantly enhance productivity within any company. All right, so on this slide, what you'll see here is that this is really great for collaboration. You have, with GoLinks, our shortcuts really simplify the ability to access and share information of frequently used websites or resources. So this really saves you a lot of time because it eliminates the need to remember like super complex URLs, the need to go find another coworker to ask them, hey, where's this resource again? Or what page is, what website is this on? Or where in the drive can I find this? So having the short keys really just help you get to that resource a lot faster. So you can use common everyday words. So for example, if you want to access 401k information, you can just write go 401k. And this really just leads you to the information that you need a lot faster. You can share the GoLinks visually or verbally. Obviously, with Slack and email, all of those different types of apps, you can share that in written form. But then if you're in a meeting with someone, you can just say, hey, if someone asks, what's the holiday? What's the next holiday? You can just use a GoLink, Go Holiday. You can tell them, oh, refer to Go Holiday, and you'll see all the holidays that are coming up. It just makes everything really, really fast. And the other great thing about having GoLinks is that you can always change the underlying destination, and your GoLink will always stay updated. So if you have benefits information that changes after open enrollment, you can just change the source of that information, and then your employees will always be able to see what's the latest benefit information. Yes, so when it comes to collaboration, it's a breeze as well. So you're centralizing all of your knowledge for your team, and then it becomes a source of truth for you, and a truth for everyone else as well. So whether your company is having like a campaign of some sorts, you're having an engagement survey, you can use this information to be able to access the information for your team and for the rest of your company. It just really increases discoverability, everything from being able to access these sources from onboarding all the way through just the life cycle of the workforce. You can access and provide these links at any time. So whether your company is remote or hybrid, incorporating GoLinks into your workflow will empower your team members, foster collaboration, and spark efficiency to keep your competitive edge intact. Now I'll pass it over to Trisha to share a few efficiency tips, tracks, and hacks.
Thanks, Lynn. First, I'll start with a few of the efficiency issues that I typically see, and then we'll go into some tips, tricks, and hacks. But a few of the common productivity issues that I've experienced firsthand and observed in various businesses are, as Lynn mentioned, I think a lot of us have also experienced difficulty finding information, especially when people are new, either to an organization, a team, or even transitioning roles. Finding information is one of the barriers, I'd say, to easy efficiency gains. The other bit being lack of process documentation. So assuming that everyone knows how to get things done, when you're scaling up or adding more resources into your organization, this becomes extremely important, as it's an easy way to stay efficient without slowing people or your processes down. The other bit of ways of working not being defined. So A real generalized example is implementing a project management tool. I'll just use monday.com because I just saw that commercial. You have 200 people in your company and every person is using it differently. So it could have been an efficiency gain or improved efficiency with the new tool. What you ended up doing is you just increased inefficiency due to the lack of consistency and the defined way of working. And then two other bits that I think impact global companies a bit more than just a country specific organization is language and dictionary. So we use words in the US different to how people may use words in Europe. And so having that common dictionary across your organization helps with the simplification and understanding of what it actually means. And then one that I think, forget about is time zones. So when you're in a global company, how do you operate in time zones to keep the efficiency moving? So there's never a massive delay in information. And so some of the tips, tricks, and hacks to overcome these obstacles: setting clear objectives that are transparent and accessible by all the teams that you're working with, ensuring there's a way to status and measure the actual progress of what you're trying to achieve. That reduces your check-in meetings. That also allows for people to work autonomously, and reduction of, I'd say, fluffy meetings where you're just asking for an update. Keeping things simple, documenting what you can, especially if it requires cross-functional inputs and outputs. And then, as I stated before, using common language or having a dictionary. And then transparency and information, where information is located and how to search for relevant information. Using a tool such as GoLinks, where you don't actually have to explain how to find everything, but you can make it so simple to just say go / I don't know, use a simple word that makes it very effective for everyone to be able to find. And my closing point on this being efficiency you can gain in both process and through human relationships. But keeping things extremely simple and the information transparent is going to be, I think, the easiest way to gain efficiency across your organization. And the most important thing is that everyone's working towards the same objective or goal. So if everyone's working on 20 different things and not going towards the same goal, everyone's not rowing the boat in the same direction. And that's it from me.
Wow, awesome. I feel like some incredible information has just been shared. So we kind of wanted to keep that short and sweet to allow for some time for our Q&A. So we're going to dive right into our Q&A session and explore even more insights. So please drop your questions in the chat. We did have a few questions come in prior to before the webinar got started. So we're going to go ahead and kick off with those. So the first question that we had come in is what strategies have you found most effective in improving efficiency within remote or hybrid teams?
Yeah, I can speak for some of that. I would say there's a few. One I would say would be making sure that your company is creating and promoting values that align with like what your intentions are. For us here at GoLinks, startup agility is really important to us. And a lot of the values that we've created really speak for this value. For example, we have focus on users as a value, delivering and delighting constantly as a value, having extreme ownership is a value. So these are all values that really pass on what we think is important for the company, and that we would love our people to be able to emulate in their work. So values is one. I would say building a culture of learning and collaboration is another one that's important to us. We want to make it okay for people to ask questions. It's okay to fail and try again. When you ask questions, maybe ask in a Slack group versus one-on-one, so that you can have other people join in and be able to share their experience as well. That we have business meetings and we have social meetings. So in the business meetings, we have team meetings. We have an all hands meeting every 2 weeks where we share what's going on with every different department in the company, and people can demo whatever they're working on. In terms of the social aspect of it, really getting people to collaborate and learn about each other through social events. We have a buddy system created for new hires. We have happy hours where we celebrate different holidays. So just, and then offsites as well. We have offsites about once a quarter so that people can get together physically, but it's all about building a culture of collaboration, having people know each other more than just, as coworkers, but also as human beings. And then just, that hopefully can help teams work together more effectively and be more efficient. And lastly, I just want to add, having the right software and tools in place in a remote environment, async communication is really important as well. So, obviously Slack is a very popular application. We use Google Workspace. And then we do a lot of video recordings as well. So different teams, like our sales team will use Wingman for training. Our engineering team, other teams may use Loom to essentially record like a process or something, so that if someone can't attend a meeting, they can look at a video. But yeah, so those are a few ways that I think that would really help improve efficiency within your teams.
I think just to add to that, right, like having clear set, like what are we all working towards? So what's the objectives, OKRs, or your goal setting that the team's all working towards? So especially in hybrid remote, you don't get the in-person as often. You're not able to just walk over to someone's desk, but having that clear set of like, what are we all working towards? Are we all doing the same? Like, are we all working towards that same goal? Helps to keep everyone moving at the same pace and kind of towards that efficiency gain that I think everyone's looking to achieve.
Awesome. I feel like those are really like great loaded answers. And Lynn, we've got a HR specific one next, but the next question is, how can HR departments effectively support remote or hybrid teams in maintaining productivity and efficiency? So I know that's kind of a pretty big one there.
It is. I mentioned this not so well previously, but I want to speak for, I would say onboarding is the very first step of this. As you know, how a new hire experiences onboarding is really going to affect what they think about the company and their experience going forward in that company. So, for us, GoLinks definitely helps us with onboarding. It's as simple as a new hire going to like a Go link that says Go onboarding or Go new hire, and they'll be able to learn more about our benefits, our perks. They can read about our processes. They can learn about our values, but really just making it like super smooth for new hires. I would say, in addition to that, having regular communication among team members, whether that it's synchronous or asynchronous. I talked a little bit about this, having like different ways to communicate. Slack being our main communication tool here within the company. We use videos a lot. We have set meetings, and we have ad hoc meetings. We have like GoLinks that actually allows you to just, it's a variable link where it says go meet with, and then you can put the person's name. That way you can have like ad hoc meetings, but really just allowing people to finding different avenues and having people connect in different ways. Of course, the offsites that we have is super helpful as well. When we go to offsites, we realize, oh my gosh, this person, I've been working with this person for a long time, and it's like super natural, but there's nothing like getting in touch in person and being able to connect with people in person as well. Lastly, something I want to just add on to what Trisha said earlier about just communicating expectations and having goals. So I would say having clear guidelines and expectations on behaviors and performance. So, we do start with the company values again. We have quarterly goals. So we have quarterly performance reviews here. And then we also encourage uh, live constructive feedback, real-time feedback as well, rather than just waiting for every single quarter. But we do have set ways in which we can sit down with our folks and be able to speak to them, get feedback, give feedback, and then being able to do that in a more formal setting in quarterly reviews.
I feel like you ended on something that segues perfectly into our next question that we have, but I guess this could be for both of you or for whoever wants to take it. But someone asked, could you provide some examples of metrics or KPIs that can be used to actually measure the team efficiency, measure their performance, how everything is going? Kind of what would you use to measure that?
Lynn, do you want to do the first part and take it more from the people ops side, and then I can go into more of the project aspects?
Yeah, sure, definitely. So when we think about people ops, there are many areas within people operations or HR. You have recruiting, staffing, which is my area of expertise. But there's also comp and benefits, employee relations, performance management, etc. On the recruiting side, trying to get quality of hire is really what the end goal is. And there's a lot of KPIs that can be tracked in that process. I think the most common one that we have is time to fill or time to hire. We also look at pass-through interview rates. So, how many candidates does it take to get to a team interview after you have hiring manager interviews? How many candidates go to the offer process after they do the team interview? Then we track acceptance rate and rejection rates from candidates. And another one would be just looking at candidate surveys. What is their candidate experience with your company? So there's lots of metrics that we can use to really help with efficiency and figuring out where in the process do we need to change in order to make it a little bit more efficient. And then just outside of recruiting and TA, you can measure diversity and inclusion. You can measure employee engagement and satisfaction. In sales, you have quota performance and then the quarterly performance, as I mentioned, for everyone else. But I think there's lots of different ways in which we can make this make it a more objective process to essentially help us become more efficient.
Awesome. And then just to add on to that, so a few of the KPIs that we use to measure productivity across the businesses that I've been in is we've used productivity measures such as measuring the team's output and how efficiently they're completing tasks. So metrics such as number of tasks completed, units produced, projects delivered, all within a certain time frame. And so you can't measure those things without actually having it time bounded. So that's kind of the key piece of productivity is what you're measuring against X amount of time or cost. And then that goes into time savings. So something that we measured as a how much was GoLinks helping our organization was that we were able to measure the estimated time savings for each GoLink that was used and every click that was used throughout the organization as to measurable time savings. And so those are metrics that you can also use in other aspects of your business. And then cost efficiency, tracking your team's ability to manage cost, resources, budget adherence, cost savings achieved, ROI. And then when you have really defined projects, I'd just say construction projects, because that's my background, cost performance index, schedule performance indexes, where you have a plan that you're measuring against. So you can use those as metrics to see how you're actually performing against. Back to you, Emily.
I love that. I feel like both of those answers are great. And I love that you touched on the fact that you can actually see how much time was saved with each Go link that has been created. So I think that's really like important and crucial with everybody trying to, be more efficient, trying to save time, trying to, pack the most that they can in their day without over exhausting themselves. Having like an easy way to access things is great. So we've got another question that kind of goes in a different route, and this may be from somebody who has had like a problem child in their organization, but it's how can organizations overcome potential resistance to adopting new tools and techniques for team efficiency? So I know that can be a huge thing. Is okay, we've got this, we're trying to roll it out, but the resistance is real. So how do we overcome that?
I'll take that. I think one of the key important terms in any implementation or any change that you make in an organization is buy-in. Having your employees engaged and bought into what you're trying to achieve and how it's going to benefit them, making them feel part of the process early, not just at the, hey, we're implementing this, go and use it, versus, hey, we have an idea to fix this problem and we want to implement this. Can you give us feedback of what's working and what's not working and what do you want to see? So you actually make them feel part of the process, engaged early, and then different levels throughout your organization. So it's not just all your mid-level managers. It's not just all your new starters. It's people throughout the different levels of your organization that are engaged and participating in the implementation or in the early setup implementation of the tool. Another area that I think goes missing in a lot of implementations are actually the leaders. They're usually the last to adopt, when I think that leaders need to be part of the rollout and trained early so that they can be leaders and examples of how you want the tool to be used. The more that their teams see them using it, the more the teams will adopt. So again, it's that key term of buy-in from your leaders, buy-in from your employees. And then the other bit being, don't just talk about the tools that are being rolled out, use them in practical ways, show the people how you're actually using them, use them in your emails and your Slack channels, like use the tools, not just put it on the shelf and say, we have this tool to solve your problems and you're not actually using them. And then asking for regular feedback. Nothing ever goes smoothly. Like, we can all say this rolled out perfectly fine, but it's never that way. And so getting the feedback, whether positive or negative, will improve the next cycle of whatever change you're going to add to that tool. And then the other bit is being honest. Not all tools are going to succeed. Not all software is going to succeed. I think it's important to continuously review what's working for your organization and what's not. We're not going to nail 100% of everything. And I think being honest and open and transparent with your employees that, like, hey, we made a mistake, allows for a better buy-in in whatever you do next. So it's that honesty and transparency of like what's working and getting that buy-in so that it's the organization as a whole versus an IT department or an HR department that's implementing something.
I love that. I feel like kind of the commonality that I heard throughout there is buy-in, and I feel like buy-in kind of also goes hand in hand with engagement, because the more buy-in you have, the more engaged your team is going to be. And so with that being said, we've got another question, but what role really does employee engagement play in team efficiency? And then Lynn, maybe a part for you is, what strategies can HR implement to boost engagement levels? So would love to hear your take on that.
Trisha, do you want to take this to start, or shall I go? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'll start, and then you can keep going. Engagement, again, always important with efficiency. It's tied to the last question, right? If you don't have buy-in and your employees aren't actually engaged with what they're doing, you're not going to have a well-oiled machine. You may have all the pieces, but they're not working together. I think when it comes to engagement, like, one of the things that I like to focus on with individuals and an organization is understanding how people operate and how the team operates, understanding their strengths and weaknesses to further engage them of where if they're not engaged in a certain area, is it because it's not something they're interested in, or is it because it's a weakness that they don't know how to uh, elevate themselves in? So it's, for me, the engagement aspect is kind of the oil that makes all the pieces work together. And that oil is driven by the human aspect of understanding the individuals, the individual teams as well, and how they all work together. Um, the best teams I've ever worked on weren't like necessarily the smartest and the best at everything we did, but we were a highly engaged team. And by that meaning everyone was there for each other, and whether you knew how to do something, you were able to ask if you didn't, and having that team engagement versus like this person's very engaged and this person's not, allowed for the machine to work a lot more effectively.
Awesome. Yeah, engagement is super, super critical. I would say on the HR side, there's several things that that HR departments can do. So HR departments and executives and any leaders in the company for that. But sharing the company vision, I think it's important for people to understand like what's their purpose in the organization. How does their role align to like the bigger picture? How they can make an impact based on their personal, their role responsibilities. That would be one area. Another area would be building a culture of inclusion. I think, Trisha is saying that an engaged team can sometimes be a lot more productive than a team full of like smart people, all smart people in one room. So, with this, like building a culture inclusion, just helping people, making them feel accepted and valued and appreciated for their unique contributions and their unique point of view, and encouraging like collaboration and working cross-functionally at times just to be able to build that on that collaboration. And then I think lastly, I would say promoting learning and development within the company. People have very different styles of learning. And I know here for our company, we do have 2,000 that we give to our employees a year to be able to upskill themselves, whether that's reading a book or, attending a conference or taking like an online class. But different people have different ways of learning. And then of course, we encourage speaking to other people within the company as well. But really just promoting a culture of learning development. That can come in all different sorts of styles.
I love what you touched on there, Lynn, especially at the beginning of, making sure that the company vision is shared. So that way, all of the employees feel like they are actually working towards that same like common goal. Because I feel like, in the past, for some of the things that I've done, it's like, okay, what exactly am I working towards? If I knew, I'd feel so much more involved and engaged and ready to hit the floor running. So I love that you touched on that. Kind of going to another route, talking about creativity and innovation. But how can leaders and even just companies really strike the right balance between fostering efficiency and allowing for that creativity and innovation within their teams?
I don't know if I have the right answer for this, but I have a answer. um, I mean, when we talk about efficiency, a lot of times efficiency gains come from new innovations or new ways of thinking or new ways of doing things. So rather than give your team a objective and detail out exactly how you want them to do that, give them the objective and let them figure it out. Most times they'll come up with a way that might be faster than what you had detailed out for them. I'll be the first to raise my hand that I'm probably the laziest person, But what that means is I come up with really fast ways to do things. It doesn't mean that I don't get the work done, but giving people the space to be creative in what they design that gets to your objective that you're trying to achieve. I think having that space to do that and not doing the what are you doing, what are you doing, what are you doing, gives people that space to get creative. I know process isn't always like considered a creative thing, but you can get creative in how you actually deliver things where you remove waste out of your actual system to give people even more time to get more innovative in what they're doing.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah, I was going to add on to what Trisha is saying. I think recognizing innovation as well, like, giving, you give the people the freedom to actually like come up with something new. And then if it's like something that's impactful to the company and something that's really changing mindsets and processes, I think like recognizing that will also help promote, I think, continued innovation and creativity.
Yeah, and I think you just touched on like something of like celebrating it. I think
Mhm.
sometimes we forget to celebrate the small wins, and that then creates like again, like you celebrate and it creates that culture that is a continuous evolution, innovative culture that's like, oh, we get rewarded or recognized for the improvement of the organization. And so celebrating the wins, but celebrating the failures too, because you make mistakes and you learn the most from them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that goes back to like psychological safety, right? It's
Mhm.
okay to fail. At least, you have to be a little bit risky to actually grow. It's okay to fail, get up again, learn from that experience, try something different. And that's all part of that, I think, creative process.
I love that. And I feel like it kind of tees perfectly into our next question. We talked a little bit about giving people the freedom to do, what they need to do to get the job done. But also, how can team leaders actually promote that culture of accountability and autonomy while ensuring also high levels of efficiency?
I think I touched on it earlier, kind of like throughout this, but like summarizing it down is like having that clear level of like either your project definition or your objectives or your goals and having a transparent way that's accessible. I think that's important is that people can see how you're tracking and that they can update trackers on their own per se and not have to constantly again what are you doing, what are you doing, what's the status, what's the status, and that gives people space to do that and it allows for that accountability. Like if your target was, I don't know, June 1st and your actual delivery is going to be June 8th, updating your status and that showing that you're going to be delayed and like the why piece of it, if it's not like a critical path, like do you need to have additional check-ins? Like it gives people that space, trust, autonomy to get the work done without being nagged. And I think that's important for many of us who don't like to be micromanaged.
I feel like that is very, very true. Very true. Um, so, I'd love to kind of go into talking about the next question, but, employee motivation. So, okay, we've got everybody, we've got the buy-in, but, how can we kind of motivate driving the efficiency and, what different strategies can leaders like, put out there to foster that motivation? I know something that has been like kind of pretty top of mind for myself is like the gamification aspect. Like, how can I gamify certain things? How can I make it a game to actually motivate? Or how can I make it a game to get people's buy in? So, I'd love to just hear either of your perspectives on that. And, how would you actually internally motivate your team? And, Trisha, you kind of touched on it as like celebrating the wins too and celebrating the failures.
Lynn, do you want to start and I can jump in?
Yeah, sure. I think I've talked about some of these topics before, so I don't know if there's a lot of new things to add here. I think firstly, people are motivated by different things, and so it's good to start by understanding what motivates an individual. How do they like to be valued? How do they like to be recognized? Um, you know, are they interested in their, like on a recruiting side, you know, are they interested in what their title is going to be, or what their comp is going to be, or who they're going to work for. So being able to understand kind of individual motivations is important, but I think it comes down to like setting clear goals and expectations, you know, providing regular feedback, offering development opportunities that, you know, L&D spend. And then we also talked about rewards and recognition earlier as well. So I think those are good ways to motivate employees.
I'd agree with Lynn. Anybody else to add to that?
I love it. I think that's perfect. And I know we're getting close to time, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to jump us to one last question that's come through. So, in terms of efficiency, are there any specific tools, platforms that you'd recommend in addition to GoLinks for simplifying communication, task management, project tracking, or really any other aspects of teamwork?
I can start, and then Lynn, you can add to my list. But I'll start with, as we all know, the buzzword today is AI. And so I don't have a specific tool for you of what you should use or what you shouldn't use. But AI is a tool. Understanding how to harness AI across your organization to complement the humans' work, not to rid of jobs. Use it to enable your job, to make it more efficient, to take some time out of what you maybe would have spent a day doing before. Like, use the tools to work for you, use the tools to complement your work. If you're not using it, you're just working harder than everyone else. And I'm a big proponent of work smarter, not harder. And I think AI can do that for you. I think a lot of industries have started to use Jira Confluence more than just product and software development. So there are ways now to integrate Jira and Confluence into all different types of organizations. And then a product that I use pretty regularly, but it's in beta mode from Google. I'm not being paid by Google to go to talk about this, but it is an awesome tool. It's called Tables. It's only available in the US right now. It's still in their beta product testing. But if your team's already on Google Workstack, it's already integrated into everything. So you can use it in your calendars, you can use it in your docs, your spreadsheets, your slides. But essentially, it's a tool that has the ability to task manage, project track, send automated emails. If you have deadlines in there and you want to send a 1 week reminder, you can set a 1 week reminder against the deadlines. And if the deadlines pass, like, it does all these things for you. You just have to set it up, and there's lots of templates. It also has controllability of access. And so pretty passionate about the tool. There's other tools that are similar, but because of the integration into the Google Work product, it just makes it so simple to use. And then Smart Sheets, they've come a long way, does similar things. It's just not as integrated as Tables. And then Lucid for a more visual way to collaborate and share. And then the last bit from me is, if you're not already using some form of tool that has OKR capability, get one. But I'd say most companies already have something in one of the many tools that they have that has OKR tracking capabilities. Lynn?
Nice. Yeah. I heard about Tables from the first time with you, Trisha. So I have to check that out. We do use Google Workspace here at our company. And we have teams that use Jira. We have Intercom. We have also like our design, head of design uses Notion. But yeah, Tables is something for us to check out as well. I think like for me, like, I say like templating is really important in recruiting. It's when you're dealing with a lot of candidates. It's good to start with templates, and then of course the customization of that is really important to give people a good candidate experience. But templates like really help. We have this nifty tool that we use on our team. It's called TextBlaze. I've used it for many, many years of my career, but it really just allows you to have like text that you can use, like short keys for the text that you want to populate into an email or a doc or anything. And then you can customize it from that point on. But yeah, I would say generally, Slack, we love Slack. We use a lot of the Google Workspace applications here. Another one that I use pretty often, I would say, is Evernote Web Clipper. It's really like a neat little extension that you can add to your browser. And whenever you're reading something, you can just clip it and it organizes. You can organize it within Evernote, and it really helps you kind of remember like articles to refer to or quotes, or it can really just help you come up with like new ideas for things as you're reading something, and you want to remember it for the next time. But yeah, I mean, I'm biased, but GoLinks is my favorite. There's not like every time I open up a tab, I use a GoLink, and I don't know how I can live without it. So I want to end it with that.
I love it. I think that is a great way to end it. And just wanted to say thank you for joining us today. We hope that after all of that you're buzzing with innovative ideas, ready to tackle team efficiency with some newfound energy. And, remember, it's all about working smarter, not harder, and then also having a blast while you're doing it. So as you venture forth, don't forget these electrifying gems that we shared today. You want to cultivate an environment where learning and improvement are as fun as game night. Secondly, you want to harness the power of nifty tools like GoLinks to streamline workflows and make resource hunting a breeze. And also maybe tag on to a few that were just shared. And then lastly, you want to build a team that can bounce back from challenges like superheroes in a world of constant change. So with that being said, it's time to unleash these supercharged strategies in your organization and watch your team's efficiency skyrocket. And, hey, if you ever need yourself in need of a helpful sidekick or have burning questions, our team is just a call or email away. So thank you, dear efficiency enthusiast. Have an absolutely fantastic day. And with that, we'll call it a wrap.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.